So when we define inclusion, we just put it in a small little encapsulated soundbite, and that is inclusion is the fight against exclusion.
Welcome to Education RX.
Love that. I think it really boils the whole conversation down to a very simple focus, is that we have to find ways that all can participate. And that is the fight against exclusion.
It also requires reflection, because we've got to stop and think, who's being left out by whatever strategies, methods that we're using. So it also requires, which is part of action as well. And what we want to help facilitate is adopting that inclusive mindset. How can we ensure that every learner is included, that the fight against exclusion is ongoing, but through reflection, we can implement these simple strategies that do reach every learner.
Holly, let's just reflect on that for a second. I think it's important for people to realize that special education, or even the concept of disability, is really a human construct, meaning we created it, we made it up, right? But people are just people with different abilities. And if you just think everyone in the world is just a person and they have different abilities, and those abilities change. Someone might break an arm and their abilities change, right? So if you just think of somebody in that regard, or everybody in that regard, then we don't put people in these buckets of, well, this is a special ed student and this is a general ed student. They're all just learners and they all have abilities. And our role is to guide them to increase those abilities.
I really like thinking about it that way. It makes a big difference, I think.
You know, that myth of average, we're not average, or we're not at the same level, depending on what scale we're talking about. So we're individualizing, customizing, and creating and facilitating a learning environment that reaches all. And that's the point. That's universal design. That's inclusive mindset. That's inclusive learning.
We may not have all the answers, but we're looking for people who have a piece of the solution puzzle.
It takes all of us to turn things around. This is Education RX.